sweethearts, and welcome to another Galactic Mayan Astrology report. This is an astrology report for the 24th of October 2020, and we are moving into a new 13-day process, and the energy that we are going to be journeying with for the next 13 days is the energy of Red Moon. So I am very excited about this Wavespell. I feel super connected to Red Moon because Red Moon is all about the divine feminine and this beautiful awakening of the feminine aspect of our consciousness that is really being given the space to come back to life at this time on the planet. So Red Moon is a red sign, as you can gather, and the red energy is all about the awakening process. So when we're journeying with red signs, we're going through new learning. That's really what the awakening signs are about. It's like an initiation, an awakening, a start. And Red Moon in particular is all about our process with flow, essentially. And that can feel really wishy-washy and like, what's flow about? You know, it's just like what the hippies say and it's all far out and all of these different things. But there's a chaotic flow that exists within feminine energy. And when I say feminine energy, you know, I'm not referring to women, I'm referring to feminine energy that everybody possesses. That said, women with a womb have got a more direct connection to feminine energy due to what's going on within the womb. And essentially what we're seeing on the planet is the manifestation of the disregard for the feminine. And that, if we bring it into the individual human, it's about our operating system. So we have developed a consciousness that is very masculine orientated. It's about action, it's about productivity, it's about doing, it's about planning, it's about controlling, it's about harnessing, it's about getting it right and being the best and all of that different stuff, which is amazing. But when alone and unintegrated with the feminine aspect of consciousness, breeds what we're now seeing on the planet. You know, it's very destructive to be simply living from mind. The feminine, which is what Red Moon is all about, is this chaotic, cyclical, shedding, dying, birthing, creating energy. It's a space of decision making that comes from awareness. It's not an analysed decision. Utilising the analytical side of our consciousness is key because it's about balancing the two energies. But because we've been so out of balance for such a long time, there's a bit of a backlog. You know, there's a little bit of a swing that we need to experience. So, you know, within Red Moon energy, we're really being brought back to the inner realms. We're being brought back to the space of navigating reality from a place within ourselves that is intuitive. It's taking the breath, feeling in and deciding. It's a slow process. You know, it's not this, here's the deadline, we need to push ourselves to fit through that. We can utilise that to get things done, but especially within the moon energy, you know, we're being invited to drop the outcome focus. It's simply about being present with what is, and it's also this process of purification, you know, where again, you know, as a woman with a womb, every month I get to experience, because I'm bleeding, what it is to purify and to shed. So my body naturally goes through this incredible, remarkable process of in the middle of my cycle I've got loads of energy and I can do all the things and everything's, yeah, let's go. And then my energy wanes. And then I shed. And then I'm reborn. And it builds again, you know? So this cyclical energy is feminine because of, you know, its link with this shedding process, which also very much connects us to the womb. So within this wave spell, we're really being invited to slow down and to process. You know, we've all been through so much, and I think a lot of the time we can be so focused on the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, that we don't ever really give ourselves that spaciousness. You know, we might allow ourselves to feel our emotions, but we don't really give ourselves the spaciousness to just be before the action comes. And really this wave spell is an invitation for us to do that, because when we drop into that space of being, when we drop into that space of non-productivity, when the consciousness isn't focused on the future, when we're just in that space of dissolve, then we have the opportunity to process anything that's lingering from what we've been up to that we haven't had the space to process. So this idea of processing isn't, again, to be approached from this masculine perspective of like, I'm going to give myself that day, and on that day I need to cry all the tears, I need to do this and I need to do the other and make sure that I sort it out. It's like, actually what we're being asked to do is just to create a big chunk of space and then see what emerges. See what emerges from that space. Now the other thing that's really come through, especially this wave spell when tuning into the red moon energy, and what often happens for me when I'm channeling is that, you know, I've got a relationship with each of the Mayan archetypes anyway, because I've been journeying with them for quite a long time. So I have like an awareness of their energy, but then also within the waves of the 13 moon cycle and the planetary alignment, there are extra aspects of the archetypes that present on a particular 9-month cycle. And the thing that's really come through, especially now with where we're at on the planet, is, you know, this real, you know, the wildness and the chaos of what feminine energy is. You know, it is unharnessable. You know, this cyclical thing of, you know, sometimes we've got shitloads of energy and sometimes we've got none. We can try and harness that. You know, you can drink 5 cups of coffee and you can override it in order to be productive and all of those different things. But eventually the wheels will fall off from doing that. And there's something about us coming to a space where we honour equally all aspects of what this feminine energy is about. So we've got this like feminist awakening that's going on, and, you know, that's been going on for quite a long time, in that women, you know, and feminine attributes are being more celebrated, but still, you know, the shadow sides of the feminine are still very much held in shame. So really what's coming through for this particular wave spell is about like, how can we honour each part of our process and each aspect of ourself and each part of, you know, the way that feminine energy presents for us equally, as opposed to being like, yep, I really love the creative bit, but I'm being really productive when I'm tired, so that's a shit bit that I should just like try and get over or rush through, or because every different aspect of this cyclical nature that we are has got its own medicine and has got its own teaching. And we're really being invited, you know, when we're journeying with Red Moon, to drop into that space of stillness and slowing and going through the cycle. Like, some days we're going to feel really chaotic, some days we're going to feel really depressed, some days we're going to feel really, really high and really expansive, and it's all part of the human experience, you know. The human experience is about misery as much as it is about joy, and having the space for all of that is really what we're being asked to do. Now, The other thing that red moon is very much about is this ability to channel. So like our purification process of getting out the calcified stuff within us, getting out the stuff that we've been like carrying around on our backs for however many years, you know, as we let go of that through feeling our emotions, we then create space to receive. And, you know, a lot of the time people speak of like, you know, the masculine is here to support and hold the feminine, and that's not about men, that's about energetics. And it really landed for me today when I was writing, because it's like, right, yeah, this is it. You know, we are here to channel, we are here to receive the vision. You know, the universal energy, the intelligence of universal energy is wanting to move through us. It knows the best way for us to harmonise, because innately nature understands how to harmonise. You know, it's the out of balance thought process that strips us out of the ability to harmonise. But we know how to do that, but we get in the way. So the more that we are able to make the space to allow the vision to land, to allow ourselves to be intuitively guided, then we can bring the rationality in, then we can bring the action in, then we can bring the masculine energy in. But what's been going on is that we've been going into this masculine energy process to begin with, of we need to analyse, we need to plan, we need to figure it out. And then if we're lucky, we might have the space to put a bit of feeling into it. But really what we've been invited to do, especially at this time on the planet, is to flip it. You know, this idea of like the whole operating system of how our reality runs being switched, I feel, is about this process. It's about us prioritising the primal, feminine, receptive, intuitive knowing that we all possess, and allowing the rational, analytical process to come after. That's not to say that both are not essential, because they are. It's just the primary operating system at the moment, as is demonstrated with our collective reality and what's going on the planet, what's going on in every aspect. You know, something's not quite harmonising, is it? So within this process of red moon, we're really being invited to prioritise our own inner feminine, to prioritise our feeling, to prioritise our creativity, to prioritise the thing that comes before the rationality, and to give ourselves space. If only for the next 13 days, if you can drop your striving, just simply for that 13 days, I guarantee that there will be remarkable shifts that support you in deeper, more profound ways to align with the reality that you're trying to get toward, than you striving forward by yourself. So if you can drop that just for now and allow, and see what happens, I feel like you'll have a wonderful Wavespell. The other thing that I just want to briefly mention is that I have completed the Dreamspell astrological diary. So I launched it last year. We've almost completed our current 9-month spin. We've got probably about 5 weeks left of this particular 9-month cycle. And yeah, the astrological diary is going to be available to buy within the next few days, which feels really exciting. And essentially it talks you through, on a very easy to access level, the basics of Dreamspell Mayan astrology, the energy of the different signs, the energy of the different tones, the Wavespell process. But then, and this is the key piece, you have a page a day to record and reflect upon your experiences. And that is where the synchronicity gets flipping pushed through. It is absolutely phenomenal to witness the repeating patterns within our lives and our own individual relationship with each of the signs and what they mean for us. Oh, it makes me all tingly. So keep an eye on my social media. and on my website to find out when you're going to be able to buy that, but definitely by next Wavespell it will be there, so I'll be sharing more about that next time. So have a beautiful 13-day process. The final thing actually just to mention, prior to us as a global community going into White Wizard 13-year process, which began in 2019, we were journeying with Red Moon from 2006 to 2019. So this is a microcosm of our collective global process. So again, just utilise that little bit of awareness and observe, because that's what this is all about. So I'm sending you loads of love, and thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.